Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/relationship advice, where OP's cheating wife came crawling back to him because her affair partner dumped her. Let's begin. My wife abandoned the family for her affair partner 1 year ago, but now she says she wants to fix things. Posted by Reddit user ThrowRAWKWWN.
My wife and I have been married for just over 9 years. We have an 8-year-old son together. She was a full-time stay-at-home mom after our son was born. However, in April 2019 she went back into the workforce, working part-time as an assistant for a manager at a medical software sales company. She was bummed that she wasn't pulling in a lot in terms of salary, but I was happy for her because I hoped that a job would be motivating for her. She had already complained that she wished I could be more spontaneous and interesting, but despite attempts at counseling, she could never explain what interesting meant. However, 3 months into her job, I found her to be a happier person. Less critical of everything I do, and a more patient mother to our son. Our intimate life had basically been dead for around 5 years, and she had shown interest in recharging that. What I didn't know was that she had begun an affair with a surgeon. He's now 53, she met him at a medical conference. Her job involves travel to go to medical conferences and visit clinics and hospitals. The surgeon lived in a nearby big city, and she would use work as an excuse to see him. This went on behind my back, as she would later tell me, from July 2019 to around April 2020, when she admitted that her work was much more remote during COVID than she had convinced me it was, and she had been driving to see her affair partner. She told me the affair partner was interesting, and he was everything that I wasn't, meaning he made a lot of money, had lucrative side businesses with his family, and lectured around the country, and loved to travel and enjoy life. She said she regretted becoming a mom because it has made her stay with me for the greater part of a decade, and that she needed time to think. She told me to not follow her and had already loaded up her car and left to stay in a room that she was subletting from a friend. I was left to deal with the fallout, including my son's troubling levels of anxiety and his increased inability to get along with anyone in school. He's cried himself to sleep thinking he's unlovable, and my wife refused to return calls. The only thing she did do was send me a letter establishing the date of separation and her intention to file for divorce a year from the date of separation. People are all telling me to file for divorce as soon as our state lets us and tell the court that my wife abandoned the family. 5 months ago, she tried to get me to sign a separation agreement with bogus terms, which I refused and decided to go see a lawyer. Then 2 months ago, she started talking to me about how she wants to be more civil with me from now on. Then last week she asked to meet. She starts crying and saying her affair partner was abusive and that he told her that he was divorcing his wife of 3 years, who was just 26, who he was separated from. Turns out, the wife was in another city finishing up her final year of graduate school, but when she found out about the affair, she went psycho and the affair partner stood by and did nothing as his wife called my wife's employer, which caused her to have to leave her job. He merely admitted that he did adore his wife and wanted to let her follow her dreams, but had a hard time dealing with long distance and pretty much admitted that his wife said she was okay with him having one-night stands, but he regrets hurting her now and for letting it drag on. The affair partner also said nothing when his wife texted my wife that he was not leaving her and that they would file restraining orders if she ever contacted them again. My wife said that she had a moment of insanity and that she was willing to get therapy, but that at no point did she intend to be malicious and that she was a victim of his lies. She said she was struggling and said she wanted to move back in and be a family again. What do I do? How do I deal with someone who has caused so much pain? If we're cohabitating again, I can't guarantee that I won't develop feelings for her again. Most importantly, I don't know how to deal with this in a way to inflict the least trauma on my son. I had been prepared to respond to a divorce petition, but my wife said she'd lose it if I filed right now and said she just wanted to find the love we once had.
OP, never be someone's second choice. Get a good lawyer, follow their advice, keep minimal contact unless it's related to your son. Speaking of your son, get him some good therapy as soon as possible. Your lawyer should make sure she pays for half of it. That bitch wife of yours is seriously fucked up in the head if she seriously thinks she could just stroll back into your lives, acting like the victim and demanding you to start over with her. Even after all of the bullshit she said and did to you and your son. Abandoning him, making him feel that he is unlovable. After all of the drama she caused to both you and your son, she has the fucking nerve to say that she wants to be a family again? What? Fuck no. Fuck no, OP. Yeah, sure, she's coming back to you now, but that's only because her affair partner and his wife kicked her to the streets. If that didn't happen, she would have never even considered coming back to you and your son. In fact, screw my advice from earlier. Just cut contact with her altogether, if the courts are gonna allow it. OP, this is so important, okay? Do everything in your power to get that psychopathic bitch as far away from your son as possible. If you let her back in your lives, you will cause more harm to your son if he is living with a selfish, narcissistic asshole like your wife. Especially when she leaves you again when she finds another interesting Chad. You deserve better. And above all else, your son deserves better. Letting her come back for your son's sake, thinking that it will be better for him, that will be the greatest mistake of your life. It won't make him happier. It will just break him even more. She did abandon him after all, so file for divorce and custody. Because you know deep down that she will abandon him again. You're going to traumatize your son all over again if you let her move back in like nothing happened. Also, don't sleep with her, man. You know, don't have sex with her for old time's sake or some other bullshit. Because there's a good chance that she will be using that in court during the divorce and custody battle. Or she could use that moment to guilt trip you into letting her stay with you a little longer. Because she's homeless, jobless, and broke. OP, your wife didn't have a moment of insanity or was a victim of lies. She's acting like the victim now because her selfish plans didn't work out too well. And now she has no house or money to fall back on. The only victims here are you and your son. She didn't give a crap about her son's well-being. She only cared about herself and no one else. She abandoned her own family because she wanted a rich husband. Unfortunately for her, the rich affair partner doesn't want her back. I mean, what kind of a delusional mind that she has to think that her rich surgeon affair partner would choose a narcissistic 50-year-old cheater over his postgraduate wife in her 20s. She belongs to the streets, my dude. If she wants to do therapy, sure, go for it. She can do that on her own. Don't forget that she abandoned her own child along with her marriage because she wanted to be with someone rich. OP, if you truly love your son, you should do the right thing and keep that selfish woman away so that she can never have the chance to abandon him again. She only wants you to house her and pay for her bills until she finds the next interesting man. I hope you all the best, OP. Good luck. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.